One. Who is your biggest winner on this Sunday following the day's preseason action, Ryan? Who are you going with?
By the way, love the Kelly Holcomb shout out. He should have beaten the Steelers back in 2002 in that playoff game.
Yes.
Talking about playoff
Almost like 400
wins.
yards, man. Like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Absolutely.
That Browns defense was terrible. So my winners are the young quarterbacks in that 49ers-Chargers game. We talked about Trey Lance earlier. He's going to be the backup unless something extraordinary happens in terms of Jimmy Garoppolo's place in the team and his injuries. But I think Trey Lance came out again after the slow start and just started dealing. Wasn't quite as nervous. There's a touch pass there. We didn't see a lot of those in the early throws. And once he got comfortable, he was able to do the things that we saw him do earlier in the preseason in week 1. We know about his athleticism. He had a couple good runs there. And the other quarterback as well on the other side, Easton Stick. We haven't talked a lot about him. Also a North Dakota State product. He's sort of playing second fiddle now to Trey Lance. But he came out. This touchdown here is one of the best touchdowns you'll see preseason or otherwise. Faked like he was going to run. Our guy Josh Palmer, who we talked about before the game as a player to watch, made that great catch. And there's a great throw right here to Jalen Guyton for 38 yards. Dropped him between two guys. I think, and this is just me talking, I haven't talked to Brandon Staley since the game just ended, but I feel like Easton Stick has moved ahead of veteran Chase Daniel in terms of the backup. Obviously, Justin Herbert, that's his job. Fingers crossed he stays healthy throughout the year. But if you need someone to come in and spot duty, Easton Stick has proven his case. He's had some flash moments early in the preseason, had some moments that made you question what he was thinking. Tonight was a really good performance.
Yeah, and Stick preceded Trey Lance. What was he? 10 of 14, 85 yards, a touchdown. Duke and run. They wanted to see more from him in the pocket. He showed the accuracy that Staley was looking for. So good job by Stick Sunday night. Who's your biggest loser after the Sunday preseason games, Ryan?
Well, I don't want to call Daniel Jones a loser, but I'm upset that I didn't get to see him play in that Browns game. He didn't play in the first week. He didn't play this week either, so he has yet to see action in preseason. We talked about the joint practices with the Browns, and Joe Judge, the head coach, said that he felt a lot of the players that we didn't see in Sunday's game, they got a lot of reps in. They wanted to avoid injury, and I understand all that. But look, man, you're not the Browns. You're not going to be one of the favorites in the AFC. You're not going to be one of the favorites in the NFC to make a playoff run. In fact, I think you're 3rd or 4th in the division, which makes me think that you need to get every starter as many reps as possible to see what you have there. So I would imagine Daniel Jones gets some reps in the final preseason game because we're only playing 3 this year, and then the season starts 2 weeks after that. I would have liked to see Daniel Jones and get an idea of where he is. And much the same way, I was upset that I didn't see Sam Darnold in week 1 and only saw him for 1 series in week 2 for the Carolina Panthers. I need to find out how these quarterbacks are going to be on teams that really need the quarterback to stand up.
Yeah, you look at Daniel Jones entering season 3 now. You got, some contract things coming up. Got to see more out of him coming up with that, season 3 out of Duke University of Duke. I was going to say Duke University. Just one more preseason game, Ryan, to wrap up week 2 before we head into the final preseason week. A new look Jags and Trevor Lawrence traveling to the Big East to tackle those Saints. Who also have a new QB as well, Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, battling to see who will succeed the future Hall of Famer Drew Brees there. We know there's a QB competition in NOLA, but are you buying any hint of one in Duval with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Lawrence and Minshew? Is there any chance? Because I know Urban Miles, he said he's open to it.
There's a better chance of Kelly Holcomb being signed by the Jaguars and him winning the job than Trevor Lawrence not being the starter. I mean, let's stop it. If Gardner Minshew was your guy, you wouldn't have drafted Trevor Lawrence first overall. You'd have traded down and gotten 50 draft picks and made the team better going in that direction. No, it's Trevor Lawrence's job. He ain't losing it no matter what. He could have the type of season where he throws 30 interceptions, he's still going to be the starter. You draft him first overall, he's the best player in this draft class. At least as we sit here now, that can certainly change. But that's who you build this team around. That's why you did all the things you did in the offseason with the draft picks and the signings to build around Trevor Lawrence. So Gardner Minshew may end up getting traded. We don't know. But as we sit here, he's going to be the backup.
Well, we know this. Trevor Lawrence has the better hair, but Minshew's got the better mustache, and, of course, he's got better jorts. Saints are favored by 4. Total is 39.5 here, Ryan. What is your play here?
Well, I'm going under for the rest of the preseason because I think that's always a play. But I like the Saints here. The Saints are incredibly sloppy in their first preseason game, so we'll see what happens. I just don't know what to make of the Jaguars. They struggled in their debut in week 1. Trevor Lawrence looked, I don't want to say nervous. He was a little discombobulated in the few series he was out there, and maybe he feels a little more comfortable, and I get that. But this team is not a good team. They won 1 game last year, and they have a long way to go. Clearly, we have to sort out the quarterback situation in New Orleans. We have to sort out the situation behind Michael Thomas and Traquan Smith, who's been banged up a little bit as well at the wide receiver position. But that defense is really good, and the other position players around the quarterback is good. The offensive line is extraordinary. So Taysom Hill versus Jameis Winston, we'll sort that out. I tend to lean towards Jameis. He's more traditional, but we know that Sean Payton has this thing for Taysom Hill. Maybe we see a 2-for-1 situation where both guys are on the field at various points. All that said, I like the Saints to win this football game and cover, despite the sloppiness we saw in preseason week 1.
Yeah, both guys threw a pick last week against the Ravens. He is Ryan Wilson, our CBS Sports HQ NFL analyst. Ryan.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.